It is time for me to disassemble the GA-V01 version. This watch only uses a regular screws, which making assembly for cleaning. Of course, the battery could last you 10 years, but if you did not clean the strap from time to time, the band will rot. And speaking of which, check it out. The resin on my screwdriver already rotten, which further proved my points. Something I need to point out is that it uses one of these longer screws, which typically could be found on a G7900, and there's other screws which is slightly thicker. This is quite unique for this watch only. All you have to do is just flex this bezel out over the buttons. Even though the button is massive, this watch strap, including the bezel, is really flexible. Look at that. It's a holder over here, and lift it up over the buttons, and same goes to the other side as well. And that is how you remove the bezel and the band for this watch, which is so easy. Look at all the details underneath it. I really appreciate that, all the simpleness at the front. But if you look at the back, now the buckle, which I already tried to remove before, uses a really unique size. Not well, the size is standard, but the distance for the horn and also this portion here is unique to this watch only. I cannot find any replacement parts yet. Look at the shape over here where it extended out a little bit, this slanted part here. This really makes it even unique to this watch only, and a bit harder to remove out of the way if you want to swap them out, including this horn. Well, this should be made out of metal, but they use plastic. Anyway, the band keeper is also unique to this watch only with this design, which you could swap them out, which I'm definitely gonna do later. I have a replacement parts ready over here, so if you just want to swap the parts, this is how you plug it in. Check it out, like so. There you go. Now you got yourself, in my case, iced out GA-V01. You cannot get any easier than this. You could remove this ring, or I would say 3D indices as well. This is probably the part that you're gonna end up removing more often, because dust could get trapped underneath this thing as you wear this throughout the years. I mean, if you're gonna be wearing this for 10 years, I'm very certain dust gonna get trapped underneath this. Look at those holes there. Definitely gonna affect the visibility of the watch. Look at that dome shaped glass as well, kind of cool, right? Anyway, this part's also pretty flexible. Look at that. Ooh, nice. It's not gonna break, and I'm definitely gonna swap these two other colors as well. Just 3 things, 1, 2, 3, perhaps one of these 4 parts that you could customize. Now the button is so big, check it out. It is rotatable. You can, bend it a little bit, but with the strap in place, this thing is fixed. Even though it is big, you're not gonna break this. This is probably quote-unquote lug for the watch. It is so solid. Look at all the structural design to it, so you're not gonna break this unless you break the entire thing. It looks almost like a carbon case, but it's just fine resin, I think. EC5, this is piezoelectric speaker, regular gasket. So let's have a quick measurement. Gasket goes about 36mm in size, so you could easily find replacement. This is the back cushioning, pretty straightforward. Every G-Shock have this kind of design, fairly thick too. Put this aside. So the movement looks pretty straightforward, right? So I think this shouldn't be any trick at all. Just, I think we could, yep, lift it up like so. The button was locked with E-clip if you, and I think I just lost the E-clip. It just flies out. Maybe I'll find it later. But anyway, oh, there we go. Wait, I think I've, wait, the hell? Oh, there's the E-clip down there. Look at that. The block just falls out, and Huh, could this thing still move? Hand retraction still works. The hands then falls off. Let's try. Ooh. Springs just falls off for the piezoelectric speaker. There we go. Now we got 3 tiny parts. Oh, it's still magnetic. Let's see how far we could bring this. I was wondering if we could go like all the way to the other direction. Oh, it just falls out. Okay. Wait, it's gonna be, yep, super magnetic. Let me try to insert it back in. I don't think it's gonna be easy. Yeah. Oh, whoa, this is pretty cool. Hold on, let me try it again. If we try to move it to the other polarity, force it, it will just flies out. Nice. This is the easiest G-Shock watch to work with, man. Every G-Shock should have the same build structure. Can I easily remove this thing too? No? Yeah, this thing is a bit harder to remove. But I think I could figure it out. Just exert just a little bit of force. There we go. It just flies out. And since this is magnetic, is it magnetic? First, check it out. This thing won't stick. This thing would. There we go. Oh, this. Look at it finishing. This looks nice. What's going on here? Still the same material. Oh, we're gonna have a closer look to this. I'll add a close-up shots afterwards, but for now, let's remove these tiny hands next. Oh, this is a bit harder to do. And risk of scratching the actual LCD polarizer underneath as well. So, wait. Yep, falls out. Not as hard. This part is not magnetic at all. So, down you go. There we go. I put everything over there. We're talking about the button just now. Let's move back to that. Pull this button out. It should have like double gasket, like pretty much every G-Shock. See now. There we go. Double tiny gasket on there. This is, I mean, DW5600 has a larger gasket than this though. Looks to me like this button shaft is standard, but let's see now. If you look underneath here, you got holes, so dirt definitely gonna get trapped underneath there. But then again, even if it's got trapped, you could still operate the button fairly easily because the dirt goes in the button, not in between this case and the button, so you could still operate the watch easily. So, but cleaning it up gonna be a bit harder over time. If you got like really build up in there, you're gonna have to remove the button. But still, the gasket is straightforward. You're not gonna lose any part except for these springs here. But every G-Shock shares the same spring. Even if you lost this thing for whatever reason, you could find replacement fairly easily as well. 35.3 millimeter. It has this slight bevel to it. Check it out. Look at that. Bevels shape to it, so a bit harder to measure. I'm gonna have to remove the glass out of the way afterwards. I'm really curious to see how this thing looks like. Let's see now. LED. Look at that, still working just fine for the analog portions only. Now it is clearer. You know what? Maybe I should swap this to regular flat glass. It looks like a magnifying glass actually. Check it out. Ooh, pretty cool, right? Look at that thing. It magnifies. It makes the watch much bigger than it already is. Check it out. Oh my goodness. Carry on. Now we'll have a look at the movement itself. Starting with the first part, I'm gonna remove the face dial for this thing to see if we could easily customize that polarizer layer there. Just peel it off about one of these metal pieces here. I'm pretty sure they just locked with a double-sided tip, just like any G-Shock out there. So, oh wow, that's really unique shape to it. Check it out. The holes in the center there. Look at the back. Oh my lord. We got a metal piece here. This is how it looked like. Pretty straightforward though. What is that thing up there? Wait, can I change that? Oh yeah, it does change. Whoa, what's going on there? Look at that. I have some idea. Alright. Oh, check it out. We could remove this layer over here. Interesting. If they were to make a, I'm guessing a full transparent face dial version of the same watch, this is the part that you're gonna see underneath it. Oh wow, look at that shape. This is how it looked like without that. Look at that, it is far better, clearer, less obstructions. Just remove this, take this thing out, the watch will look far better. But then you're gonna have to maybe add some paint on this layer here, you know, just spray paint it, should be fine. This is indeed metal, by the way guys, not some resin plastic. This is piece of metal. Whoa, just by unclipping it, we actually disassembled the entire thing. And as you guys could see, we got a single point of contact for the ribbon down here for the LCD, and that is the ribbon cable over there, rectangular shape, massive one. And I see, look at that, that is the LED down there, and it is connected with, let's see now, wait a minute, we got double LED. There it is, there's another one down there. Wait a minute. So we got two springs down here, so those two springs connect the LED for the analog part. I did not know that this watch any. Alright, I installed this movement again just to test because I really did not see this before. Check this out. When I turn on the LED, the analog part is so bright, you can see that, right? But the digital part, look at that thing. It barely does anything. It didn't even shine through this portion of the display. No wonder I can't see anything. It should be there. I'm wondering, is it because of that negative display? Oh wow, did not know that. What a surprise. Hold on, let's remove the face layer here. And seems like we got a sticker, right? Not a sticker, a reflector, I would say. There we go. Alright, it is at the back. There we go. That's your coil motor over there. We got two of them. Springs again for the front LED. Another one over here. Oh my goodness, I did not know that this watch have a digital LED because it is so useless. Seems like we got double layer of movement there, so I think we could remove this front section. Lift it up. There we go. That's the battery compartment. So this part actually goes with the circuit board. I think let's remove the springs. There we go. Coil motor sits way down there, and the look at that thing. It sent the movement all the way up to the hands, way up there. Anyway, let's visit the battery compartment real quick. It operates. Oh, it is totally separated, and I didn't see any tiny springs hidden anywhere. Some older G-Shock have some tiny springs hidden in one of these holes. 10 years out of CR2025. Interesting. But the battery is big enough and it goes 10 years. That is really efficient. You know, some older G-Shock, maybe around 2010 release, only have about 3 years battery life, roughly, if I'm not mistaken, same battery as well. So this circuit board is far efficient. I'm thinking that is thanks to all those micro capacitors down there. So there we go. That is your coil motors. Two of them and a connector for the LED for that digital portion of the watch. And this is how the movement look like underneath. There's your capacitor over there, some processors, another processor over here connecting to this LCD panel. This is the crystal, right? I don't see any adjustment available. Some vintage model have like a screws where you could adjust the sensitivity of this component here, but in this case we don't have that anymore. This watch is not Bluetooth connected as well. Let's see now. There we go, that's the coil. That's the gear underneath there. See, this thing is, you could lift this up and swap them. This is for the hour hand, of course. The minute hand goes in there, which is the magnetized part of the hand, of course. That's the coil motor for the... There we go, we could lift them up. Seems like this screw over here got stuck in my case. I can't just remove it, so I guess this would do, because every G-Shock shares the same component. You guys just have to see how it looks like underneath here, and there we go. Put everything back in, screw this back in, and we should be good. Okay, here we are. Here is the whole thing again up close. The glass has a dome shape to it, so once I press it down and out, it reveals something way more unique, or I would say different. I don't think this is in a good way at all. Look at that, it has this black ring. I would say, I'm guessing some kind of decal applied on the back of the glass to create this black line around it. Most G-Shock have this black lining over here, but the problem is that if you look at the edge over here, this gray thing here, this thing, it looks like some kind of tape, or I would say glue residue, right? Also, this watch is missing the glass gasket, which every G-Shock watch have. Check it out. I could just lift up this, I would say indices, right? The ring for the indices. You can see the slots for the analog LED and a slot here to align this thing to the hard case. You can see that over here, just in case when you plug this thing back in, at least you know the actual alignment, so that this thing could just stay in place, or else just gonna rotate here and there, and you probably got misaligned the... Alright, now plug. Look at that, I cannot rotate this thing anymore. Look at that. Now if I lift this up, there we go, I could rotate this. Anyway, back to the point that I was saying. Oh, by the way guys, look at it from the back. Really slim. I've seen some G-Shock watch with a thicker ring, I would say, though this thing is customizable, which is pretty cool. Regardless, you can see that there's no gasket at all on the side here. Most G-Shock would have those. You add a black gasket ring for the glass, and then you press the glass in there and lock it in place. With this G-Shock watch, you got none of those, but we do have one of these. I don't know what this is. You see that, right? Maybe some kind of glue that actually holds the glass in place, which in my case, since I already removed that, I don't think I could reapply this thing, especially when you look really closely to the side here. Check it out. It is a flat glass, so it's not a double dome. This part is dome shaped. On this side it's just flat, and it goes flat all the way to the side as well. And this part, look at that, it's just flat. There's no ridges, no valley, no high, no low surface, just flat surfaces, which really worries me. I don't know if I could. How can I install this back end? Look at it, just flat shape. It's almost like this thing just glued down to the hard case. If I were to install this back end and press it down, there's no gift at all. It's like I cannot even push slight edge in there, just just so that it could be locked in place. In this case, it's not resistant at all. Once you remove the glass, it is out permanently. Press it down. There, it just won't stick anymore. It's just permanently loose. I cannot install the glass back into the hard case. Yeah, so that's a problem. And since we already facing a problem, well, this is good though. How about let's go even further. Now I'm gonna try to modify the polarizer for the watch, swap them up to positive display. But for now, I'm gonna have to, let's see, cut portion of this polarizer here, like right at the center there, straight down, straight up, and remove this entire half portion of it, and swap this up to a positive display polarizer, and we'll move on from there. If I don't know, let's see how it goes. Alright, the entire thing just, I don't know, crack and break, which is the first time I've ever seen anything like this. Normally they could just peel off a single layer, but it is a bit more fragile than I thought. Here's another polarizer. Check it out, guys. There we go. Check those out. Look at that difference. Okay, now if I go rotate this to positive display, now we're winning. There's no beating this. Positive display is totally possible, but somehow Casio refused to do it. My GA-V01 is now new and improved, clearer, more usable, except for the fact that the glass is not. But I'm just gonna use some kind of 3-second glue or something. I'm not gonna go diving with this thing anyway, so 3-second glue works just fine in my case. At least we know now that we cannot change this, and for most people, of course, we cannot change this as well without damaging the gasket, the glass gasket. So there we go, guys. Now I'm gonna have to assemble everything back in, maybe complement it with this transparent band. We'll see how it goes. More customization will be made later. I'll try some several color variants as well and show you guys how it look like. But as far as this video goes, I'll should end this here. It's already been long enough. I hope you guys learned something from this video. I know I do. I learned a lot. This watch is really a lot. That should be the title for this video. Anyway, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. This is G-Shock High Fashion Channel.